Hey, hello there, everybody. This is me, David here. Welcome to the fourth episode of Let's Talk Football. I am David here, and I'm here
Let's
with
talk football.
crud. No,
Dugout Crew Podcast, David.
yeah, the Dugout
Oh
Crew.
my
I meant.
God.
Hey, you put Eric Lima, man. You didn't hit
Boy, you and I, David, we've been having a rough start with this.
Let's see. David won. Eric Lima won. The rest of the crew, 0.
Yeah. We come up with the most botches in this podcast.
And do not try any which way to edit this out. It should be
I'm not.
noted.
Because David always, because he said at one time some of the best things ever happened was unexpected. So
That's right. Yep.
And the Rays, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want to play this, but I have to. The Rays are 13-0.
talk about it.
13-0.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's just amazing. Yep.
13-0 for the Rays. There you have it. 13-0. I just don't get it. I hate the Rays in our division. I just don't get it. We got swept after they played Detroit, the Nationals, and the Athletics, and now they swept all three, including us. I mean, all four, including us, and this is unbelievable. This is crazy. I don't think Jason knows anything about who's on the Rays, but
I don't know.
Unbelievable of what the Rays are able to do.
From what you're saying, I have no idea who they acquired over the course of the season. You're talking about basically, did they just like revamp their whole team or something?
Seems like
it. They got all their AAA players, and they just brought them up and say, "Goodbye, veterans. We're just putting in all these new guys who are going to hit home runs or do something," and literally just, wow.
Yeah.
13-0 and
13-0. That's one game tied the league record, and going for that 14-0 tomorrow, possibly.
Yeah. But they're going to Toronto next. And if they lose that game, I'll have I don't know what's going on. And the Red Sox here's the stat that was mentioned. Trouble at the Trop. That's 13 games at Tropicana Field. Record 0-13. Team average for the Red Sox 1.183. Line differential -3.4. Stars era 4.74, and the bullpen era 5.44. Last Boston when that Tampa was April 22nd, 2022. This is crazy of what they are able to do. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna lose a game at all this season the way they've been managed to play. But who knows what will happen with the Rays going into the rest of the season. I mean, I just hope this nonsense will be over soon. But they're in first place in the division. I mean, at least one thing that me and Eric can agree on is that the Yankees are not in the first place, at least. But still, the Rays, this is crazy,
I'll tell you what, the Rays have been a juggernaut so far this season, and Toronto likes to play these guys tough, and play the division tough as always. So I am kind of hoping that things will turn around for the Red Sox. I mean, but the Red Sox come back home. That's the great news.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
So I'm trying to See, now the Red Sox do have a couple of key injuries. Zach Kelly for one, um,
Yeah, that was the other night.
and you know,
Duvall got uh, broken his wrist in Detroit.
mm,
Duvall.
yeah, Adam
So
Duvall. That's another blow. But they didn't, at least didn't need surgery. At least he, at least he's gonna need some rest. And like I said,
yeah.
that I think that kind of like ruined the momentum for the Red Sox after sweeping Detroit over the Easter weekend, and 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 now
Yeah.
and right now, we're in last place at 5-8. Rays, the Blue Jays and Yankees tie for second, and then you got the Orioles, and
Hmm.
and then so Red Sox need
Hmm.
to do something seriously. I mean, and
Yeah.
so
Hey, 100%.
at least
But we'll see what happens. You got the Angels coming up this weekend.
yeah,
Um,
Shohei
how
and Trout. I'll tell you one thing. That's a
hmm
dangerous blow right there on the offensive side. Shohei can pretty do some pitching. So it is
yeah,
something to be on the lookout for. And
yeah.
so
We'll see what happens. So, let's get into the news here right now. It's by the way, Chester, how you doing? Missed you last week.
I'm doing better.
Yeah,
I'm
what's
still
going
under
on?
That's
the
good.
weather.
That's good. All right. So, for Chester Brennan, they're progressing well. Could return to the Mets by the end of April. Something unique, Jason. Yes, I hope that Chester Brennan can come back healthy. After his phenomenal 2022 season, and we'll see what happens from there. Uh, Also, P. Alonso hit his 150th home run. Um, Clutch Andrew McCutcheon has returned home to Pittsburgh, which was very nice to see because that was his home. 2013 MVP, what he did for them. Glad to see a homecoming for Andrew McCutcheon. After with the Brewers. Uh, the Mets have an agreement to change their New York uh, Presbyterian jersey patch. Very much interesting. Corbin Carl was 7 years old when Evan Longoria made his MLB debut, and they are the first teammates to. Uh, well, actually, that's the other one, but they're both on the Diamondbacks, so they're interested to hear there. Nolan Arenado has had his 300th home run. Travis D. Arnanu has been placed on the IL under concussion protocol per Mark Bowman. O'Neal Cruz has fractured ankle uh, and, and possible return in 4 months. O'Neal Cruz, that's a big blow for Pittsburgh right there. He is a great power hitter, and that is very tough to hear for Pittsburgh fans. But they're still having a great season here so far, despite that. But unfortunately, it went the wrong ways for the Red Sox as Adam Duvall, as for injuries concerned, out with the left wrist fracture, broken wrist on the IL. With Bobby Dalbeck recalled, tough. It was tough to see that. I kind of knew something was going to happen to Duvall. With him playing center at any time, but hopefully he could get back healthy sometime in the next few months. Um, The White Sox placed Tim Anderson on the 10-day IL with the left knee soreness. Um, has hit 100 home runs, one of the key players to the Minnesota. Did you guys, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you, but you're lagging a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, it's like you're in and
Oh,
out.
I was saying Brian Buxton has hit 100 home runs as one of the members of the Minnesota Twins. Um, Luis Arias has Miami's first ever cycle. They're the last team to have a MLB cycle, and Luis Arias has done it for them. So congratulations to Miami for their cycle. Um, not last call for beer sales has been extended because of these sort of games. So I believe it's gonna be the I believe it's gonna be extended to either the 7th or the 8th. 7th or 8th for the beers to be extended. So that's interesting. Kyle Farmier exits the game after being hit by the pitch in the face. Hopefully, a healthy recovery for him. Jim and Choi and Howling Bay are the first Korean born hit home runs in the same game. That's very interesting. Um, Ian Happ, 3 years, $61 million extension with no options. Carl Former walks off the field after hit. Oh, yeah, I already put that there. I don't know why I put that twice. Um, Jared Kalanick, third game in a row with the home run that was 484 feet. And Bryce Harper preparing to play first base with the Phillies,
First
which
base?
is
Wow.
yes,
Oh
he's
my
preparing. He's
They say with
preparing
the
to
DH
play.
universal now, you can put him in the DH.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they
yeah, he
wow.
yeah probably because of the Hoskins injury, they want to put Harper in first base for them. But it's interesting because we all know that Bryce Harper played DH, in the postseason, basically for the rest of 2022, and now he's going to be preparing to play first base. So let's see how an attachment is that from being in the outfield and right and coming into first base. That's news for today. Anaha, or how do you pronounce this? I'll put it in the private chat. Um, how you pronounce that word in the private chat?
Utah.
Anaha, is it? Utah, excuse me. A Utah coalition led by former Jazz owner Gail Miller announced an official campaign to try and bring an MLB expansion team to Salt Lake City, per Salt Lake City. Um, so that's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know. It looks like it will be the Athletics, or I don't know, maybe the Rays. I mean, we'll see what happens with what teams. But I gotta ask Joey about that next week. Hopefully, he'll make a return with us next week. So, with that being said, after the news of the week, we didn't have a whole bunch. Normally, I'll be asking questions about what's your takes, about the week, but I will be doing that for next week once we get the phone game back in here. Let's do some team reports here. As we will start with, I will start with Chester for this one. What is your reports for the Houston Astros right now?
Right now, the Astros are third in the AL West. Shockingly, the Angels and the Rangers are actually above 500, which is pretty shocking because last season they were, you know, bad. Right, or we are on a 7-game losing streak. We're 6-7.
Seven, 7 game losing streak.
Oh, yeah, well, we've lost 7 and won 6.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So the last 4 games, the Twins pretty much beat the Astros 2-1 in their series, and the Astros managed to sweep the Pirates. And the player of the week has to be Mauricio Dubon, who's batting pretty good. 355, I think, last I checked. And he's the one that's been playing for Altuve in his absence. So I think all we need to do is get better pitching because we've been losing games we should win. Like the
Yeah,
Pirates.
yeah, and
The
also
Pirates are
the
like,
Twins. With the
yeah.
Twins, that's Correa's team right now.
I still can't believe he left.
Well, maybe he had to do stuff through the farm system. They wanted to bring out Pena, and look at him. He pretty much carried that team in the postseason.
Yeah. And then the next series we have against are the Rangers and the Blue Jays. And then
Hmm.
after that, we got the Braves. And of course, the undefeated Rays after that. That's going to be interesting to see if the Astros can snap their winning streak.
Yeah. Let's see what happens with that. Anything else, Tester? You want to say?
That's, that's it.
All right. Let's go to Eric.
Well, okay. The Red Sox did get swept by Tampa Bay. Um, I think the main keys too for Tampa Bay winning that series against the Red Sox. We're talking about Yoshida wasn't in the lineup again. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully he's okay. Obviously the loss to Duvall. Obviously, you lose Zach Kelly, who could be a major part in the bullpen. A couple of things. Nick Pivetta, he was doing well, but he was pulled after 5 innings after 83 pitches, which I can understand. You want to prevent injuries, but he basically,
Yeah.
well, they say Corey told reporters that the reason why the last inning, the fifth inning, was got a little bit longer, and he left it out there, everything in that inning. So, and you know, he wanted to send Pivetta back out there, but he decided to turn it over to the bullpen. The bullpen kind of blow it, you know. But the bullpen did hold it down until that game-winning home run in the eighth inning. So, and let's see what else. Also, Mick Pivetta did not like the pitch clock, and he said, it got too fast for him. And I can
Oh,
understand, you
yeah.
want to make the game. Baseball is a game of strategy too. And people complain baseball is boring. You give me this, you need that. But it's also a game of strategy. I don't know why they want a pitch clock in there. They want the games to go fast, and that hurts concession sales as well, because you know they were talking about it on the Pat McAfee show about how uh the faster games have hurt sales, especially in the beer department. So some teams already felt this, and some are going to extend the beer sales like into the eighth inning instead. Instead of the usual seventh inning.
Yeah.
So um yeah, so yeah, you have Devers did not do much against Tampa. You're talking about
He had a home run, though. He almost brought the team back, yesterday's game.
yeah. So you're talking, and we're talking about Yoshida. I don't know why they did not put him in the lineup again. I can understand that Duvall is hurt, and is like, does it affect Yoshida? I don't know, but I think if Yoshida was in the lineup, I think the Red Sox would have had a chance to at least end the Rays' winning streak. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So that kind of hurt the Red Sox, for sure. After a successful sweep, like I said, of the Tigers over Easter weekend, you know, and they got
Yeah.
swept by the Pirates, and they took 2 or 3 against the Orioles. So starting off, so The Angels. I gotta see where the standings at with the Angels. Let's see. Angels. They're going up against the first place Angels. Obviously, thanks in large part to like say Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. So a game
Yeah.
tomorrow at 7:10, Saturday at 4:10, Sunday at 11:30 at 1:35, and then April 17th is Patriots Day. So don't they get a morning start at 11:10 a.m.
Otani is supposed to pitch that game actually, but we'll see if the weather can hold up.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what happens, and if Otani's going to pitch that Patriots Day game, Otani is very popular. Then after the Angels, we got the Red Sox got the Twins in a 3-game series, and this is the homestand, a 7-game homestand, obviously, and then going back on the road against the Brewers for 3, and the Orioles for 3, and then the Sox come back home against Terry Francona and those Cleveland Guardians for a 3-game homestand, another 6-game homestand, 7-game homestand. The Blue Jays will come into town beginning May. So so the end of April. So towards the last, we got a 7-game homestand, and then a 6-game road trip, and then ends April and starts May with a 7-game homestand. So
Yeah.
hopefully hopefully the Sox get Duvall back. Hopefully Yoshida comes back and tries to do well. Everything else, Kiki Hernandez, I'm very concerned about his defense.
That's why they moved him to center field, I think, after the ball injury.
Yeah, and you got a chance for Yu Chang to really you got I'm surprised they didn't put Devers in the lineup today.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and they put Bobby Dahl back at third. So the reason why they called him back up is because of Duvall's injury as well. So, and like I said, losing Xander Bogaerts that has done and JD Martinez, that puts a serious dent in your offense when you lose those two
Yes.
to free agency. And that's been very, very tough. I mean, I'm sure fans wanted the front office to sign Xander, but then I'm sure the front office is going to feel the wrath of the fans, But I'm sure they appreciate that we even have Devers for 330 million. I'm gonna say so. There's that. So
Yeah. But I don't know, and I mean,
hopefully they can bounce back from it. Chris Sale and Corey Kluber did not do the job. They did not get what they want to do, and that was end the Rays' winning streak. So we shall see what happens.
yeah, and I do remember, watching last night's game that they said the lineup was a bit different for today, but I didn't expect Devers to be not playing.
Yeah. You think you
I'm
want
not-
Devers to be in the lineup? And like I said, the loss of Adam Duvall could affect people like Yoshida and Devers and all that. So
Did he play third base today?
I think Dalvin play third.
Yeah, I think so. And, by the way, as for the beer sales, this is what Matt Strom had to say as regards to that.
Mhm.
The reason we stopped selling alcohol in the summer before was to give our fans time to sober up and drive home safe. Correct? So now with the fast-paced game, if the game is going to finish quicker, we want not move the beer sales back to the sixth inning to give our fans time to sober up and drive home. Instead, we're going to the eighth, and now you're putting up our fans of at risk, driving home with people who have just drank beers 22 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, they want to sell and sell. So
Yeah. Maybe there might be restrictions. I don't
Some
know.
beer companies are desperate than others.
Yeah. But let's see how this affects everything. But we'll see. But yeah. Um. I am very interested to see how the Red Sox do back at home this weekend. I mean, actually, the first game of this race series was actually entertaining to watch with Nick Pivada's pitcher performance. Um, but other than that, it was just a rough series to watch. But I mean, I actually pretty much watched or listened to all those 4 games, but um, we'll see what happens going forward. So, and today I did not watch the or listen to 4 game because today's game was at 110. So, uh, getaway game that is. That was going to get away.
Jason, Jesse, Eric, David. I'm sorry I'm missing another broadcast. I am delivering my report on the A's now. For their news, they had Seth Brown go on the disabled list. He hurt his left oblique. The A's have called up Kevin Smith. They also put Domingo Acevedo on the disabled list. He's injured. And they called up Chad Smith, who would get his first Major League win last night in an 8-4 win, breaking the A's losing streak. They are currently tied right now in Baltimore, 7-7 in the 8th inning. The A's had been on a 5-game losing streak, almost 6, and they broke it last night to improve to 3-9, hopefully 4-9 by the end of today. They are going to go back to Oakland and face Jason's Mets, who are currently doing pretty well for themselves. Scherzer's gotten off to a bit of a slow start. Verlander's still on the IL, but the Mets have gotten off to a good start, at least. The A's are currently struggling at the plate, but I'm going to have to go between Player of the Week for either Ramon Laureano, Brett Rooker, or even backup catcher Carlos Perez, who's now, as of today, got 8 hits in his last 13, which you don't expect from your backup catcher. But the A's at 3-9 are currently doing a lot better than I thought they would, despite the 6-game losing streak that they just were on. And now they go back to Oakland for a 3-game set against the Mets, which is going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they have Chicago coming in, which is another 3-game series, which is going to be the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. The 20th, they'll have an off day, and then they'll have a couple games in Texas. So, other than that, I really don't have much to say. There's a lot more that I thought I'd be saying for this video anyways, because with the A's on the significant landslide with the worst differential and the second worst record in the major leagues currently, they're trying to get out of this rut, and I hope they do, because their last season in Oakland has not proven to be very fortuitous, as they have the lowest attendance in baseball after opening day where they had over 27,000 people, and it is clear to me that they aren't going upward. They're going to continue to trend downward, and that is me trying to be a little bit more optimistic about things. I apologize in advance. But Zach Geloff, Tyler Soderstrom, Mason Miller, among others, are supposed to be coming up to the major leagues soon to hopefully replenish for the reinforcements and get this team back to respectability. But the A's are just behind the Astros in division, and I'm hoping, nothing against the Astros, but I'm hoping the A's can at least get close to them before the end of the season. And that's just how I feel about that. The A's pitching staff has no wins on the season. Their starting rotation has no wins. Their bullpen, their 2 wins beforehand were by Trevor May, who was 2-0, 2-1, I should say. And then Chad Smith, who just got brought up last night to replace Acevedo, got his first big league win. So the A's are very much trying to trend upward, but at 3-9, they have the second worst record in the league, and their lease with the Coliseum is coming up at the end of the year. And the voting for this is going to be completely self-destructive, because the owner's not going to give them any money for payroll. They got a lot of players to resign, arbitration, and everything else. But yeah, no, not much more here from me. whoever is going to be next with the news, I'll kick it off to you. You guys have a pleasant day.
Thank you very much, Joey. And actually, unfortunately for the A's, they just lost a little while ago, half hour ago. Ali Rushman had a walk up on to win it for the Orioles, 8-7. So, but thank you very much, Joey. And now let's go to Jason with his report on this.
Thank you, thank you, David. And I want to give a big hello, happy birthday to Tomas Nido, who turned 29 yesterday. On his birthday, he laid a big fat goose egg.
On April 12th. Wow.
On April 12th, he leaves a fat goose egg. And speaking of the bottom of the order, we have a lot to talk about on our 7-6 Mets, who are currently in second place right now, 2 games behind the Atlanta Braves, and are heading out to the West Coast as of tomorrow to go face the Athletics, who I hope, in this case, Joey, I just heard his report, 3-10, sad, but really we're going to go in there and hopefully kick some athletic menudo. You know what I mean? But right now we have a big thing to worry about, and that's the bottom of the order, and it starts with Eduardo Escobar. This dude right now on his time playing with the Mets shows that he is not the most effective third baseman we have. I think Luis Guillorme could be the starting third baseman if this guy continues to go cold. Right now, him and Tomas Nido and anyone else who's on the bottom of the order needs to get their acts together. Right now, Francisco Alvarez is in the starting catcher's position because of Omar Narvaez's injury. So between the catching and the third baseman, we've got a lot of problems, and we really shouldn't have any problems as far as that's concerned, because the guys from 1 through 6 can literally do the job. We don't have to worry about them. It's 7, 8, 9 that every day we have to wonder who's going to be in that lineup. So at 7-6 right now, while it's hardly a disaster and they're coming off a rather nice win series against the Padres, we have to worry about the bottom of the order. So player of the week for right now goes to Pete Alonso, the big polar bear. He's got a home run derby going on, and he smacked the crap out of that last pitch that he had. Woo! Total domination. 4-2 great homestand for the Mets. I love the fact that they came out of Milwaukee, came back home, and really took care of the baseball this time. I'm really happy to see a lot of things going fantastic for my NY Orange and Blue crush. And we have to think also, too, that our closer, David Robertson, is continuing to show Buck Showalter that he is a very good closer, despite the fact that Edwin Diaz is out for the season. So with Robertson's continued pitching at the closer, he will get the start when needed, but we also have a few other people out there like Ottavino, and we also have Drew Smith out there as well that can also do some pretty good damage. So we've got about 3 closers that could do the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings and really show us that they are worthy of that final position. So a lot to show over this next West Coast trip as we go to the Athletics on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we go and have to face the Dodgers for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then 4 against the Giants on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before coming home on Tuesday to face the Nationals at Citi Field. What in a world of a West Coast are we looking at? Well, possibility prediction-wise, we could go 3-0 on the Athletics. I'd like to say that. The Dodgers are going to put up a fight, as they always are. The Giants this year, I say we take 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4 from them. We split that series. Come back on the homestand. I would like to see us go, 3, 6, 10 game West Coast trip. I like us to go 7-10 on this West Coast trip. I'll be very happy with 7-10. Of course, if we go, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, if we sweep and we go dominant, hey, that's fantastic. But I'll take 7-3 on the West Coast trip. Back to you, David.
Thank you very much, Jason. And yeah, that Dodgers, Giants series, you guys are going to be doing that West Coast trip. That's going to be an interesting series to watch.
Yeah, that series on the Dodgers and the Giants always gets me riled up because the Dodgers are a dominating West Coast team, have been since the last 5 or 6 years, and you really have to go into that stadium and put your A game on. And I know for a fact that Alonso loves to hit in that ballpark. He's got some total domination against those Dodgers players. So he could go in there and rack up some more home runs, but I don't really want them to kind of rely on that long ball. They're hitting the ball great, getting some fantastic. Did you see the 2 slow rollers that went fair down the third base?
Yes, I did.
I could not believe when I saw that. I was like, wow, that's the first time ever in Mets history that 2 slow ground balls down the third baseline stayed fair. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's got to go in the record books right there. The people talking about that one for a while. So we're hoping that we take 3 from the Athletics. Joey, I'm sorry, but I feel bad for the guy who's 3-10. I wouldn't want to be on the same spectrum as that, and you probably will be 3-13 after we're done with you. But then, like I said, take 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers and 3 out of 4 from the Giants. I mean, that's pretty good. If we do that, we could have a very interesting West Coast trip. Although, of course, if we go 5-5, I'll be happy with that. West Coast trips, again, you're really batting with fire there. So, I David, my prediction: 5-5 at the worst. Maybe 7-3, maybe 8-2 if we're really, I'm thinking 7-3. Anything between 5-5 and 7-3. So I'll be happy with that.
All right, pretty nice right there. Does anybody else have final words about their thoughts about this week?
All I know is we're hoping the Red Sox can turn things around against Anaheim.
Yes.
You guys had a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, you guys have been in have you guys been in the cellar this early in the season before, or is this the first time?
We've been in the cellar in a few games, man.
Yeah, but this early in the season, though?
Yeah, even though.
Yeah. I mean, look at 1986. We were in last place in the end of April.
Wow.
1986, then they came on strong and ended up winning the division and ended up going to the World Series that year. 86, right? What you just said?
Yeah. All right. Could somebody ask me this question? And I'm curious about it. The infield fly rule. Can somebody explain that to me in baseball?
Infield fly rule. Let me look it up.
Yeah, everybody talks about that. That if a guy hits a pop up in the infield, that the infield fly rule is in effect or something. Can anybody explain to me?
I'll have Eric look.
Eric's already looking. He's already googling it. Yep.
I don't know it either, to be quite honest.
Really, I thought maybe you knew.
All right. Okay, now according to Little League.org. Rule 2, the infield fly is a fair fly ball, not including a line drive or a butt, which can be caught by an infielder with ordinary effort when first and second or first, second, third base is occupied before 2 are out. The pitcher, catcher, and any outfielder stationed in the infield on the plate shall be considered infielders for the purpose of this rule. It goes to state that the ball is alive and the runners may advance at the risk of being caught or retouched and advance after the ball is touched. The same is on any foul ball. If the hits become a foul ball, it's treated as same as any foul ball. Well, wait, for fly rule MLB though, because that was a Little League.
MLB because that was Little League. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Here we go. I say okay. Infield fly got a glossary for that. It's a fair fly ball. Same thing. So infield fly the ball. The batter is out even if the ball is not caught, and the base runners can advance at their own risk.
Mm.
Yeah, and this is an infield fly. Any fair fly ball, not including a line driver or bunt, which can be caught by an infielder with ordinary effort when first and second, or first, second, and third each are occupied before two men are out. The rules in place to protect against a team allowing a shadow fly ball to drop in with the intention of causing a forced play at second and third, or second and or third and home. Otherwise, the team would be able to force out base runners who have stayed put on a routine fly ball. In these situations, the umpire will declare infield fly for the benefit of the base runners as soon as it is apparent that the fly ball qualifies as an infield fly. The batter is out even if the ball is not caught, and the base runners can advance at their own risk. If the ball is caught, the base runners can attempt to advance as they would on a typical ball caught in the air, almost like a sacrifice. But it's strange. I know the Braves have been victims by it against the Cardinals at one point, and that got Braves fans all in the tiller. So,
all right, so that's pretty cool. And another question I have is, what happens when you're like, let's say with the Rays, because they play in a dome and that ball hits the dome, you know?
there's some certain rules on that.
Yeah, because you have different rules when you have a
many catwalks.
Yeah,
many catwalks. Like I said, I only care about the Red Sox because they're in their stadium. Well, the Rays have a different set of rules because of their stadium, because the catwalks and all that. It depends on which catwalk they hit it in.
Yeah. I was just curious because how do you play something that hits the dome? Is it become a still live ball if it hits the roof and then comes back, or is it a dead ball if it hits any part of the roof at that time? Or I mean, we've heard things of that nature before.
I think honestly, there's like certain catwalks are like a home run or a ground double.
Okay. Okay. There. Okay. Here, the Tropicana Field ground rules, catwalks. Batted ball strikes catwalk light or over fair territory. Batted ball that no low. There's two lower catwalks, C ring and D ring, and lights territory. All right. A batted ball that strikes either of the lower two catwalks, known as C ring and D ring, including any lights or suspended objects attached to either of those catwalks, as well as any angled support rods that connect the C ring to the mast that support D ring in fair territory, home run. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Batted ball that strikes either the upper catwalks, known as the A ring and B ring. Knowing the mast, same thing. It's in play, but if caught by any field, the batter is out and runners advance at their own risk. Batted ball that is not judged a home run and remains on the catwalk, light or suspended object, two bases, a double. Batted ball strikes catwalk, light or suspended object over foul territory, dead ball.
Got it. Thanks for clearing that up, because that would be that's been weighing on my mind for a long time, since the Rays have kind of been playing in those dome stadiums,
Yeah, so
I was always thinking there was always a separate set of rules for that. Yeah. How do you play it off the dome, off the roof,
Yeah. Like the Red Sox, the Green Monster seats, there's a shelf right in front of it. If that ball hits that shelf, home run. Adam Duvall's game-winning homer, it hit that shelf because it's considered over the Green Monster. Home run. There's a red line in front of it too. If it goes over that red line onto that shelf, home run.
Most of the time, though, they've cleared the Green Monster. It's a pretty good shot to go over the Green Monster, though, right?
Yeah, it is a pretty good shot. But it usually had net before they added the monster seats. They had nets. They had nets. It goes over the monster into the nets for home run. So
they had that before they brought in the Green Monster seats.
Yeah. No, man made it huge.
But yes, 100% there. Just giving guys a little update on the schedule. Starting next week, we're going back to our regular schedule, or that we tried that before. And that is no episodes of the Dugout Crew will be up on the YouTube channels and Spotify Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, it will be on the David3000 Network. So as our ENCORE does. So just want to give an update on that. And I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of the Dugout Crew. And I will see you all next week for the 5th episode, and we'll see if the Rays are still winning. So until then, see you guys there and have a fantastic rest of your weekend. So see you guys there.
Right.
See.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David3000 Network for great more content like this one.